Well, I could actually sit here to tell you stories all day, and I sincerely apologize for overrunning the time like about an hour. How is that even possible? I don't know. But there are some amazing pieces here. Fireside chats are always full of fire. And when you have Brett on the other side, I assure you, they're actual fire. So we are thrilled to have Brett Salakas, who is HP Education Ambassador Australia and NSW, and an eminent author joining us today for a thought provoking fireside chat. It's called From Fear to Framework Ethics, Policies, Procedures. I'm not going to stand between you two, I'm going to say something on the other side. Okay. Hi, Brett. Thank you so much for this time. And I know you are right now at another event. I've informed everybody that you're not with us physically, but I know if anyone has any questions, you'll be happy to pause because I'll be texting you. So, yeah, you enjoy your event. But yes, thank you so much for this time. It's absolutely great and absolutely amazing to always have you here. I've given a brief introduction about you. So, we're all really eager to hear from you. So you've heard about AI in education. I mean, it's like the buzz of the whole piece, and our whole summit talks about AI powered digital pedagogy. Is it a promise or a concern? What do you say?
Look, I think it's both. I think any emerging technology brings great promise. I think the entire purpose of school. Do you know what? I'm going to answer that in an unpredicted way. I believe when we actually think of, instead of considering what AI can do and how do we roll it out, actually take a step back and think, why do we even have the concept of school? Why do we even why does the concept of school even exist? Why do we pay for it? How do we pay for it? We know that the school has been around for a long time, but compulsory, standardized, regimented of schooling has been very much since the Industrial Revolution. So why do governments all around the world actually invest and pay? Why do we have the concept of school? Now, if you ask a teacher that, or a parent, it'll be uplift my child, nurture and develop like the whole person, and all that sort of stuff. But they're not the people paying the bill. Why does a government invest literally millions and often billions of dollars annually into education? So when a when a government signs that check for a couple of $1 billion, why are they doing that? What's their return of investment? What's their ROI? Why are they actually paying that price? And the answer kind of is, well, they are investing in future generations, because as we know that a well-educated population can have successful employment, and the better educated a population is, the more likely they are to bring great revenue and have a higher paid jobs. The more highly paid jobs they have, the more taxes they'll pay. The more taxes they'll pay, the more money the government will have. The more money the government will have. We have schools, we have hospitals, we have police, we have roads, we have all of those sorts of things. So we invest in the concept of schools because that actually drives our entire way of life within each of our countries and all of our civilizations. The investment, the return of investment, is the building of a society for the next generation coming around. The more highly educated we can have our students, the more profitable and the higher quality, all of those extra elements that we expect and demand and want in our societies. That's what that will be. Now, that said, would there be anyone listening here that would say AI is not going to be part of future employment? I don't think so. So if the entire concept of school, the reason we pay school is to have the best, most well-trained, most effective education system to prepare students for highly paid jobs of the future, there is almost a guarantee that those highly paid jobs of the future will have an AI element to them. So by logic, we need to actually make sure we are using AI effectively to help do and achieve what it is that we actually pay schools, the concept of schools, to actually exist to do. So when you ask me a challenge or all that sort of stuff, of course it's a challenge. Of course there's opportunity. But when we think of the why we do school, it makes sense of why we need AI in schools, because to achieve the goal of what we pay schools to exist to do, we actually need to make sure we have AI embedded into those.
That's a compelling idea. Yeah, absolutely. We haven't dwelled into that at all, but thank you for creating that space. That was interesting. Okay, let me just give you a few scenarios here because what works practically is, what am I going to do if I have to bring in AI into my school? So imagine that there's a school and they have a vision for AI adoption across, teaching, learning, and beyond, and they really want to go in a very very planned manner. They want to have policies, procedures, and ethics around it, so that while they are onboarding on this journey, it's going to be a smooth one. So what do you think is the most practical way to prepare a school to prepare towards AI adoption?
It depends on if they want to keep as much as possible the traditional practices that they have in place, or would they like to remodel their schools to actually teach effective with contemporary technologies. How much do they want to embrace and how much do they want to shun? Every jurisdiction and every country will have different legislations that they're going to need to abide by. So making sure you are fully aware of the appropriate laws, data privacy, even digital sovereignty of information of individual students, school, and your nation is incredibly important. These things need to be addressed right at the beginning, very, very immediately. But I think we know that worldwide we have an increasing stress on like the teachers and teacher shortage and quality education in every country, just about. Just not in every country, but in most countries there are, particularly in niche subjects where it can be a little bit hard. So the big promise of AI is to be able to address some of that. Now, what you know and I know and every teacher knows that no matter how good the computer system is, no matter how fancy the AI is, I can have the best AI in the world. No 15-year-old student is going to do linear equations because the computer screen says you've got to do linear equations. Why do students do things that they sometimes don't want to do? Or every teacher's had a challenging child who is reluctant to do the work. Why do they do when they're in class? And would AI be able to make them do that? You can have the best trained AI in the world on curriculum and content. It's not really going to matter when you're dealing with the teenager or the young student and all that sort of stuff, because you know what? We're human, and humans run on emotion, and we actually need a human to actually connect with the child. So, any AI initiative that we roll out, especially when we are going to scale and really seriously embrace AI, and not just have AI assessment policies. And you got to remember, any AI that we are looking at now, as wonderful and fantastical as all the AI tools are, this is the absolute worst that AI is going to be. This is the 3.5-inch floppy disk of AI. This is the type of AI that will look back in 10 years and be embarrassed that actually existed because it was so basic and so rudimentary. So we're not saying like let's do everything just for now. How do we set up appropriately for the future? And I think the thing that a school is going to have to do. So when we're looking at different scenarios, I think the thing we're going to have to do, and when you talk about scenarios, and I know you were thinking of a couple of different scenarios, I'm going to give you a model now that's actually going to address a few different ways, like a few different concerns. Because one of the things that we can have, we always need to make sure we have a human at the center of everything, giving that explicit teaching and that expert instruction and that I guess that really, really driven content specialist knowledge. We have that at the top of a triangle. And if we see this triangle of success of how do we roll out AI, so the other corner here, this is where we have our AI. This is where we have video. This is potentially where we have AR and VR, where a child can go and reinforce their learning. So we've got the expert instructor. We've got then this AI tutor. We've got different other technological tools that the child can reinforce their learning. And because we've got this expert teacher, maybe we can hit more than just one school, more than just one class at a time. Maybe we're zooming in, or we're on Teams, maybe we're on whatever, and we're actually getting this expert instruction out to multiple things. So we also need to make sure we have a human in the room, like an old-fashioned, like in the old sort of ancient Greek pedagogue, the actual word pedagogue, where you actually had a coach, a mentor, someone to guide the humanistic sort of needs of that child. So really genuinely mentors. We've got explicit teacher giving explicit knowledge, content specialist. We've got all of those AI tools to be able to tutor and refine and really go over that knowledge and reinforce that knowledge. And we've got that pedagogue in the corner that really is that mentor, that coach to actually drive the best. And I think if we do that sort of stuff, then we've got a very well balanced way of moving forward with AI in education.
Wonderful. So yeah, I mean, I would take that because when we take the approach that we have at Deep Pedagogics, the first thing we do is draw the vision, and the vision will include the need of every member. Why do you need AI in education? They need to first think about that, and then probably look at what is the purpose of AI. So what is it that it's going to do for you? And like this, like you said, that this is literally just too new in AI. We might look back and laugh, but an innovation like this is as powerful as a steam engine. We've moved from steam engine to the high, fast moving pace trains, but look at the kind of evolution that's happened, and it's going to happen much faster, I'm sure, in the days to come. Yeah, and that brings me to the next one because you laid importance on the pedagogue. I want to understand um, and address the fear of using AI for lesson planning. There's a very thin line between using it and over reliance. What's your
Hmm.
thought?
Look, you know what? As and I'm sure you have with Deep Pedagogics and a whole bunch of all of us who are, I guess, blazing this trail. That's one of the big concerns. I think the easiest way to demonstrate this with a group of teachers is actually to have it produce some work, or a lesson plan or whatever, and then sit down and say, okay, this is what the AI can do. Now let's make it better. And what you very quickly realize is no matter what the AI produces, the human can then take that and use that as a base and then improve upon it. So we have to not put what the AI spits out as the absolute top tier. This is the best thing ever, and then the humans aren't coming up. You know what? It's fast, it's easy, and it does the base work really well. But it's up to us then to take that and really tweak it and refine it and personalize it and make it very special for our particular students in our care for the needs that we have. And I think that's demonstrated really easily by saying, all right, here's a lesson plan. Let's generate a lesson plan. And then, all right, teachers, you sit down. How would you improve upon this? And every teacher can look at what the AI spits out, and every teacher can then go, well, this is what I would do better. AI is a great mediator, a great leveler. When you think about it, it's a large language model. It's taking every single thing that it can scour from the internet and learn. You ask it a question, and it gives you the highest probability of what you want. So it's not giving you, like if you think of the bell curve, it's not giving you up here at that top 5%, because that's not the highest probability of what you want. It's giving you where the most likely answer that you want will lie, which is going to be in the middle. So if all you want to do is produce a middle level lesson, great, AI is going to be fantastic. If all you want to do is produce a middle level report or a middle level essay, great, AI is your answer. But if you want something higher end, high quality that no one else is doing, that is particularly special, that's very you find, and the top 5% of what you can do, you want to be at the very top, then you're going to have to personalize, adapt, and change what the AI spits out.
Would be actually phenomenal in an ideal scenario. So I have this thumb rule when I go for teachers training, and we normally tell them that when you start using AI, let's say you're using Copilot as your your buddy, the teacher buddy to draft a lesson plan. Have a rule for yourself. It's a 20-60-20 rule. 20% of time spend it on thinking about what is the prompt that you're going to give, enrich that prompt so that what you're asking for is very relevant to what you're going to get, because what you're going to get is the 60% of what you were looking for. So 60% of the chunk is here with you. Now what are you going to do about it? And then there's the last 20, because you know your students the best, you know your classrooms the best. personalize it. So put your thoughts out there. And by the end of the session, we normally change it to 20-20-60 because everybody realizes that the task that I've gotten out of that, generative AI is just about 20% of what I was looking for. Now I need to put in the 60% of time to actually personalize and take it to my classroom. Yeah. So yeah, I'll go with what you've just said. But there's another elephant in the room: AI chatbots and AI agents. Goodness, I'm not sure how ready are we for that, and where does student well-being stand with all of this in our way? So I'll let you take that.
Yeah, look, I'll answer this one fairly quickly. And Australia has a unique position to actually talk about this. And obviously, all of your audience, people listening in, you probably worked out by now that by the accent I'm coming at you from Australia. I think if you were to look back and go, okay, let's look at social media as an example. I don't think there'll be too many people who will say that social media hasn't had some sort of negative impact on our youth in some format or another, particularly with their well-being. I think we're all very much aware there's been a tremendous amount of studies done. The well-being of our youth, social media can have detrimental effects. We've all seen youth suicides and all that sort of stuff that is related to that. I wouldn't be surprised if we let AI go unchecked, we'll probably have the same sort of feeling in 10 more years' time of going, well, what legislation could we have done to actually prevent and protect our youth? I think if we were able to go back, knowing what we know now about all the different social medias, would we put in different legislations, different laws to protect our youth, to make sure their mental health and their well-being was addressed, and they had the most genuine, authentic, safe, secure, nurturing childhood possible? So if we would, I think we all pretty much would agree that that would be a wise move. Would we not want that for AI? Like, we have the opportunities now to do that, to protect our youth. Why don't we do that now rather than wait a generation and then have a generation that can have potential challenges with their well-being as it related to AI? Now, the reason I mentioned Australia has a very special situation at the moment regarding that, we have just brought in bipartisan support for a new law that actually is banning all AI for anyone under 16. So there's a grace period. Every single social media platform is going to have to come up with an effective solution to be able to age check anyone. So it's not just like put your age. They're going to develop an age check situation. So above 16 adults will be able to verify that they are able to use it, and there'll be heavy fines and whatnot for anyone below. So it's not now just, yes, parents can go, yeah, just change it to 19. You were born in 1965. It's okay. Don't worry. It's actually going to be legislation enshrined, and they're going to have those sorts of things in place. So I wouldn't be surprised if we need to do something akin to that for AI moving forward, to make sure that the use of AI is appropriate when it's to do with our students.
Yeah, we're all ears and eyes for what's going to happen, when things fall in place because of the kind of step that Australia has taken. So that's great leadership. And I think it's also wearing the black hat to say, hey guys, I'm going to do this. Let's see what happens if I do this. So yeah, all eyes on that. Okay. So thank you. This is absolutely amazing. Lovely, ideas shared. And I think very, very practical. You've always been a thought leader, and, you've always guided everyone really well. So here are three of my top. I'm going to do a rapid fire round with you because I need top three questions answered. So the first one, and these questions have been collected, from the audiences we collected as a part of the registration. So they're hot questions. So the first one, the first one is, in one sentence, what's the most exciting AI trend in education today?
Most exciting AI trend in education today is the ability to have personalization of feedback for our students.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Okay. If AI could remove one major pain point for teachers, what should it be?
That one is so tricky because I'd love to say marking. However, that in itself is controversial because ethically, do we want to actually give AI the power to do the algorithm and just mark our student? Or do we want a human in the loop to make sure that they're giving advice? So I would say that, but that's a very controversial thing that morally we need to dive in deep. That's a whole keynote workshop on itself, that question.
And I have another one, which is again very tricky. So I'm going to give it to you. Um, if AI replaces the administrative tasks that teachers are doing or the repetitive tasks that teachers do, what should I do with the extra time that I have? I mean, seriously, is that a question? But yes, it's a question.
Now, do you know what? I want to introduce all of your audience to a term called AI grifters. I think there's a lot of people who are not experts in AI, who are positioning themselves as experts in AI and giving advice to schools and systems about what we could do in AI. And the biggest giveaway is when people say, AI is going to save you time and give you more time. That's fake news. It's not real. And anyone saying that is not true. What AI will do is actually make some of those mundane tasks easier and faster and more efficient. And then you'll be spending more time on those more important tasks, like actually getting to know your students. AI does not save you time. AI just redistributes your time so that you can do the boring paperwork, administration tasks faster, and then you can spend more time on the other. No one is getting more time in their day. You're not going fishing or swimming because you use AI.
I think that was a perfect one. One example that I always give is one time that you save on, if you call it the saving of time, is you don't have to run the corridors to get a signature on a paper. Just send it and it'll get, signed. You don't have to do that. Spend that time wisely elsewhere. Where I think you need to find in your routine, where is it that I need to spend time on? What best way to actually spend time with a few students or a group of students that you would really want to? Yeah, that brings me to the end of, the rapid fire round. You've always done well. So here we are with flying colors. So thank you. And I'm
Very
sure
much.
the audience is applauding for you as well. One closing thought about how to move from the fear of, the entire fear of adopting AI to adopting a framework. Literally, our heading or our title was from fear to framework, ethics, policies, and procedures around AI. So if you could just wrap it up in about a sentence, I'll be really happy.
I think play. Your students are already using things. I think the only statistical decrease in the use of ChatGPT, it's only happened twice since the launch of ChatGPT, a decrease in usage, and that's been when the Northern Hemisphere has had their summer school holidays. So we know statistically that students are using AI. If you're not using it, you need to be aware that they are. So the best thing you can do is actually play with AI, become familiar with it because your students are using it. And the more familiar you are with it, the better prepared you'll be able to have quality lessons that actually meet your students' learning needs.
Didn't I tell you every word is a wisdom with Brett? He'll tell you something. He'll make you look at the mirror to say, that's the truth. Look at it and look at it from this lens. So thank you, Brett, for
Too
providing us
much.
beautiful lenses to mull over. And I'm sure the audience have a lot of questions. I'm going to message those to you and request for you to answer those, please. Thank you so much for being here.
Lovely to be here. Thank you for the invitation. If ever, you definitely message me, but I'm very active on LinkedIn. So if any of the people who are listening in want to connect with me on LinkedIn and ask a question, I'll be able to get back to you as soon as I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much and have a lovely event there. Thank you for being here.
Okay, bye.
Absolutely awesome, isn't it? Well, Brett is my anytime friend. So he is like a leader and a guide. If I have some question, doubt, confusion, I simply just reach out and he's always there. So he's literally, one of those people whose insightful conversation is something I wouldn't miss. Terribly sorry for, the kind of delays that we've had. But I think the only way to make up for it is share more spotlight stories with you.